Welcome to Pull the Pin Radio, a place where average veterans come to share their opinions about the world we live in. We can't guarantee you're going to like our opinions.
Because you're going to love them.
I'm Jim.
And I'm just some guy.
Gosh, you're always so entertaining. Well, welcome all our loyal listeners, Johnny, Christine. I think about covers them. Welcome to our episode. As you can see, Nate is still not here, obviously on a wonderful vacation still. So we are going to press on with me and just some guy. Yes, it always throws me off when I just have to say your names. But we're going to try. I think we're going to try to do an episode again like we normally do with Nate. I don't know. I didn't get the feedback on that last one, whether you like that style or not. But we're going to go to some headlines like we've been doing before. Just from the mainstream medium and just talk about them from our perspective. And I'm definitely going to throw you off when I ask you why our perspective is important.
Because it's better than everybody else's.
Hey, that's close enough, man. That's close enough.
Why is that even a question? Shouldn't that be on the description of the main page?
Well, it's not that it's a question. It's just a way to give Nate something else to say. So, But either way, that's what we're going to do today. And because Nate's not here, it's going to probably go a little slower, a little more hectic because Nate handles some of the stuff behind the scenes that this just some guy is not going to handle. So I'm going to do that. So without further ado, let's get into our first headline so we can open up the conversation. And boom. SCOTUS hands major win to Trump, rules ex-presidents have substantial protection from prosecution. I know you got something to say.
Wait a minute. You mean to tell me that we live in a country where politicians don't get treated like regular citizens? I'm shocked right now.
All right, well, you're gonna have to elaborate on that because there's two different directions on that. Because is there a place for it though? Like, think about it. Is there a place?
Okay. I feel like if your actions are in regards to your official duties, actions that you're taking in performance of the duties of your elected office, then you personally aren't, it's not you personally that's accountable. It's, that office that's accountable, right?
Right.
You have to separate the, Joe civilian from Joe politician. And that's not a dig at the current administrator. I was just making a Joe as in a generic.
Right.
But that joke works on both levels. So, hey, good job. Go me.
You got it.
But no, there needs to be some sort of separation between the individual and their office. Right. I think you could take that back to, the Bill Clinton years, what went on between, his extracurricular activities should have been a subject for him and his wife, not him and the country, because what he was doing at that point in time was not in his capacity as commander in chief. Or was it because it took place in the Oval Office? That's not, it's not my place to decide, but I feel like that's
what took place? Was it any kind of Tua?
Look.
Oh wait, does that girl get paid every time you say it? Like now, how's that work?
I hope she does. Good,
So just to address that on my perspective, yes, there are laws. I'm a man of laws, rules, regulations. I get it. I understand that. But when you look at policemen, it'd be a perfect example. Policemen get to speed to catch the bad guys. So technically they are breaking a law. So we give them that authority because we understand the bad guys aren't going to follow the laws. So sometimes we have to break the laws to catch the bad guys.
Yeah, because they're acting in accordance with the responsibilities of their office. Exactly.
Right.
But if the cop's in civvies in his own car and he's flying down the road,
right.
That's a better example than my Bill Clinton example. So thank you for that.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying too, is even within that, what happens if a cop's speeding, breaking the law and gets a wreck and kills somebody? Like
then
it
it's his office that's accountable,
civil,
not him personally. Right.
but how do you punish the office for a death of somebody else, or do you just call that an accident because it's within the duties of the officer's job?
No, I mean there needs to be some accountability. I mean, somebody
Well,
lost something, so ergo a reparation of some sort needs to be presented. I mean, and
yeah,
usually that's done in in the form of money
right,
because
monetary, right?
yeah, it's like, but
But
how else
that's
do
through a
you
civil
do it?
suit, though. Civilly, they're monetarily held accountable, but should they be punished under the law? And I think the
I
answer
mean,
is yes. If
at that point, you have to establish whether or not there was negligence.
yes, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
That's what we have an investigation for. Now we can go down the whole rabbit hole about whether these are real, accountable, whatever not. But in the end, those basic things from, excuse me, I got the hiccups. The purpose of the police, now transfer them into the president. Yes, the president should have some levels of immunity because there are things he will have to do, like taking lives in a foreign country that may be part of his job, like a military, like a soldier. I mean, murder's murder, right? Whether you're looking
According to
down
the
a barrel
Bible.
across the sea or if you're in your backyard, murder's murder. So in the end, there has to be some protection from exemptions. You know what I mean? There has to be. Now, where they extend, that could be a debate and an argument. But in the end, if this is what the liberals and the left wing and your families, your peoples, believe it is, then there's a whole lot of presidents that I'd be bringing up on charges today, without a doubt. So if they want to fight back and say this is some nonsense stuff, it's just take it. If it's all about Trump, I still don't get it, dude. I don't get it, dude. I
I,
just don't understand.
no, and honestly, I don't either. I mean, when you know me, I'm the liberal fringe or whatever, but it's like, I don't see anything that Donald Trump said. Now, he is personally an individual who is, historically known for grandiose statements. Okay. I mean, you can
Sure,
go back, to the 80s and find statements that he's made that are, these larger than life sort of grandiose sort of, calls to action in every facet of his life. Okay. So, I don't see anything that he said, that, any of these statements that they're bringing up as, proof that he orchestrated this insurrection. No, he didn't. It was a general, call to action sort of thing, that is not in any way divergent from his typical speech patterns in any other scenario. I think people are just looking to hang a man in this
well,
case.
so let's let you. This is the problem because me and you can have a logical, ethical conversation on the moral values of whatever he did, but that's not even the conversation. That's not even relevant. That's the problem we have here. I have a standard. I hold you accountable to the same standard I hold me accountable to my family. Now, it's one thing if you want to protect your family, even when they did something wrong. I understand the bond and the ties there, but herein lies the
You mean
problem.
like Hunter's laptop?
Yes, herein lies the problem is that there is no standard for everyone. And yet they're the first ones to scream like, oh, no one's above the law. You're so full of crap because you're above the law. The Democrats, Biden's above the law, Obama's above the law. It's just no one that we don't like is above the law. So that's why I said when people step back just for a second, like I understand that you get the media that they feed you. So if you're only watching certain things, you're not getting the real information. But just step back for a moment and think about I like to bring things back into your life. When you go to work, right? You can look around that office or wherever you work and you can see that some people are treated a little different than others, right? And you could probably find examples of exactly what we're talking about, how, you know, the pretty secretary doesn't get yelled at when she makes a mistake, but the ugly one does, or whatever.
He's an intern, not a secretary. Jeez, Jim, I
Right,
told you
right,
the
right.
story in confidence.
Exactly. But so you get what I'm saying, right? So you can see examples of this on a smaller level, and you tolerate or you don't tolerate. You get all mad and fluffy inside,
But
and
you don't know anything about it.
right. But then all of a sudden it happens on a big level, and when it's on your team, you make excuses for it. So really the matter of all of this is it's not about a value, a moral, or a principle, because none of these people are acting on principles or any of those things I just said. I'm not repeating it. It's just on their team. It's really that simple. And I understand the human nature of it because I could fall guilty of it too. Sometimes I'll make excuses for things. I'm like, yeah, it's still wrong. But I'm aware of it. I'm aware of my own bias and excuses. And even if the excuses are legitimate, like when you look at the presidencies, right? You could look at Trump's presidency, and because I favor the things he's done for this country, I don't necessarily have to like the man per se, but I favor the things. I can say that his first year, he was battling people from inside. I think there's truth to that, not just an excuse. I'm not just making his first year seem like, oh, he could have done better, but this is the excuse, blah, blah, blah. Right? But in the end, even the last year, COVID, he didn't cause COVID. Maybe you can criticize the response. But in the end, even in the 2 years in the middle, we had good things happening. So no matter what my excuses are, the results were still there. Now, fast forward, look at the last 4 years of Joe Biden. You have a media and a Democratic Party now that is coming out with pitchforks. Oh, he needs to step down. And all these people like, oh, I didn't know it was that bad. And then you got people making excuses for him. So they're infighting in themselves. So what that tells me is all of them are probably lying and knew they're lying. Who in this room, who in this on this internet didn't know that Biden had these problems 5 years ago? Like, who didn't know that? You, you get what I'm
No, I
saying?
was
So
looking for hands. I don't see any.
I mean, even as liberal as you are, you have to be able to look and say, this reminds me of Mike when he used to call me a racist all the time. Well, you have to say that that there's people either seriously really dishonest in this world or really, really ignorant.
Well,
It
I
has
think
to be.
honestly, I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, I think there are some people who they toe that party line so fervently that like if somebody tells them like if it's somebody that's up in the party that they look up to metaphorically and organizationally or whatever, and they say, no, Joe's the guy, blah, 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 they'll just go, oh, yeah, okay, well, so and so said it, so Joe must be the guy. But
Do you really think people believe that though?
I,
Like trust but verify, it used to be a thing.
no, it still is a thing. But here's the thing to go with the thing, right? Is I feel like we have. And I feel like this is probably just a general first world issue, not just a strictly American thing. That we have spent so much time and effort into teaching people to be educated, that they have all of this information now in their brains, but no knowledge, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they've sat through 2 decades of being educated by teachers and professors and instructors, and they're used to taking the information that they're told and locking that away as fact. That's what we've ingrained in the brains of our youth for 150 200 years.
Yeah, but at what
But
point
now somebody who they view as a source of information, as an educator or something, tells them this is what this is, and they take it as gospel.
you know what I don't look, the thing about the thing that we're supposed to be, I sound like Kamala Harris now, right? No, the part I don't understand though is I would believe that in theory if I saw it in practice, right? Because let's say, for example, you were told growing up all of your life that Pluto was a planet and you trusted these people, right? And then
I
one
still
day,
fight that to this day. Pluto's a planet. Fuck anybody who says it's not. I'll die on that hill.
okay, but you see now, you see what you're doing there, right? So now, but other people are saying, okay, I trust these people. So now we got new information. So Pluto's not a planet. So most people really don't care about that. But yet now all of a sudden we have this massive movement about, well, I'm a potato, but I feel like an orange. So I can be an orange. Like, so, then people are believing that. So they're readily believing something that's not true from sources who haven't been reliable, trustworthy sources. So they're very
Oh, wait,
vulnerable
wait,
to
wait,
this.
no. I
But
see. I take issue with your point of the second point there. Where are they getting this information from?
your point is, can we gotta stop with the things and the points and things? But okay, Kamala Harris here. All
But
right,
but I mean, seriously though, I mean, they're getting this information about, if they want to be an orange or a potato, they can be an orange or a potato. Okay, but who is telling them that they can be an orange or a potato? What is their source of this information?
what are you saying? The media, the teachers, and all that stuff. Was that what you're saying?
I mean, I don't know. I
I
mean,
don't
I'm
know.
asking a legitimate question. Where do you
Yeah,
think
I don't think it came up that way. I think it came up from social media. I think random people they don't even
and you
know
think
are validating
children
them.
don't put all of their stock and faith into social media? That is where their peers live.
Right, right, but that's new. Like for example, go back to your youth before social media, right? You might believe your buddy, hey man, don't worry, you can climb that fence. There's nothing on the other side. And then your
And he
dumbass
did it.
probably climbed it because oh yeah, and then all of a sudden some dogs chased you, right? And
Yeah,
you're getting chased.
exactly. And the social media has become the new schoolyard.
Right, right, right. But the next time your buddy says, hey, go climb that fence, is your dumbass gonna climb it again?
Because there's no repercussions in social media.
Well, I understand, but that's a new
Yeah,
phenomenon.
when
That's
we
what I'm
did all
saying.
that stupid stuff in the schoolyard, we had instantaneous
But
consequences. We had repercussions. We got bit by that dog. We got punched by that bully. We got whatever it was. There's no instantaneous gratification in regards to consequence of action on social media.
yeah, no, I could totally buy that. But my guess my question then is, so you're saying that the consequence was real, and that's the only reason people followed any kind of sense of anything.
Yeah, well, yeah. Are you going to touch a hot stove a second time?
There's a whole show called Jackass. I don't know if you've seen it. Yeah, yeah. There's people that will,
Okay,
and
well, yeah, and there are exceptions to every rule,
it's almost
but
rewarding these days. It's almost rewarding these days. I look like a white ghost, man. Like, what is up with my lighting? It's almost rewarding these days to
I mean, those guys are exception and not rule. Okay, they have a TV show because they're one of the 1 in 1,500 idiots who will touch the stove a second.
but hold on though. This
That's
is
why
my
they have a TV show. If
but
every
this
retard did it, then they wouldn't put them on TV for doing it.
But this is my point. This is why I knew we weren't going to do headlines because we're only on the first one. We're still going. But this is my point. So that phenomenon is growing. Like how many people are getting rich in their internet businesses? Well, I'll call it because it's really not a business. A bunch of idiots doing videos and they're getting rich like us, right? We're not getting rich, but we're doing idiot videos.
Who's we?
Yeah, no, dude, believe me, because we're talking about stuff. But I can guarantee you, if we wanted to get rich, we can go out doing stupid stuff. All the controversial stuff is what makes,
Oh, I love that girl.
well, right, either sexual from women, because like I think we talked about this. No, it was a buddy of mine suggested. He's like, oh, you should do a counter video, like from a guy's perspective. I said, no, that's sexual harassment, dude. That's gross. When a woman does it, the whole internet's like loves it, and the girl gets famous. If a dude does it, he's going to jail. I mean, like, you know
Facts.
what I mean?
And
So
that circles all the way back to the beginning of the conversation when we were talking about double standards.
yes, and the patriarch and the the labor fair unfair labor. Like, how many dudes can do hawk tuah and get rich? None. So stop with your labor practice stuff or the wage gap or whatever your garbage is. You can get filthy rich for showing boobs. How many dudes can show their boobs and get filthy? Don't do it.
No?
Oh,
Hey,
yeah. Well, if
I mean,
you
my
if it
shame
does
to
bump,
greed ratio is lopsided as hell. That's all I'm gonna say.
and this is what's so funny too. We end up in rabbit holes. Like I didn't even know how we got here, but yeah. So at the end of the day, let's wrap this up so we can keep this one shorter. SCOTUS decision, which I don't have faith in people anymore, whether it's whoever side they're on. I just think we've lost our faith in our standards. But yes, stop exaggerating on both sides. Well, I don't even say both sides. It's really not fair.
No,
There
it
has to
is
be
fair.
exemptions. There has to be exemptions.
They all make up whatever rules are convenient for them at the time. They all do it. Red, blue,
Yeah,
green,
yeah.
purple.
But I don't.
They all do it.
Yeah, but you know what? The hard part is the labels, dude. Because even though I make fun of you, call you liberal, I don't believe you're really liberal. I just think you have some liberal tendencies I don't agree with. But I think at the end of the day, that's the problem. We're all individuals. But to your point, if people fall lockstep with a trusted source and never question anything, they do belong in that label. They earned that label. Like I can call you a liberal, but you probably have many opinions that are not liberal, and you can call me whatever, and I might have a liberal opinion. That makes me not fit that category.
I was going to say I got a sidekick in my purse right now that is
Yeah.
very unliberal.
Right. Well, so you get my point is that so I think when you question things, we don't need to make a new label for you. We need to just stop putting a label on you, because that's the point. Is you're not labeling yourself. Sorry, my army badge kind of.
Welcome to the dark side, Jim.
Well, yeah, I know. But at the end of the day, why can't people recognize this? Why can't they be honest about it? Why is it so hard to just have integrity these days?
Because
Why is
human
it?
beings are social creatures.
But you can
We
still
are
have
innately
integrity.
want to feel connected to something. That group, that feeling of belonging, that solidarity, that's what they're looking for.
Yeah, and I get that. And I guess that's very illustrated through like prostitution, right? Because in the outset of it, it's a transaction, right? Both
Mhm.
parties know it's a transaction. But when you get into the moment, I don't really know. You can share a little more with this, but I think when you get into the moment, we're both pretending there's something of value there. You know what I mean? Maybe not necessarily. I don't know the kind of women you've been with, but I assume that they're
Look, if there's nothing of value in that transaction for you, Jim, I think you might be doing it wrong.
no. I don't think the value in it is the dump, right? It's not the holding the kid the story because nobody really cares. The value is the release. That's the value in that transaction.
I'm a cuddler, Jim. I can't.
Well, I am too, but I wouldn't be cuddling with somebody I have to pay money to. And if she's cuddling with me, it's under false pretenses.
Okay, all right.
That's my point.
That's fair. I mean,
So
okay, okay, I see what you're getting. Okay.
I don't even know why we're talking about this, but why don't we go ahead and wrap this show up? Because again, it's going to run forever. It's going to run long. So why don't we wrap this up and we'll try to get out another episode because I'm sure Nate will still be gone again. But hope y'all had a good 4th of July. Sorry, this episode too is
All
late
fingers
posted.
present and accounted for.
Yeah, mine too. Right, all those athletes that make millions of dollars lighting off their own fireworks. Looking at you, what was his name? Strahan was Strahan that did that?
I don't know.
It was a Giants defenseman. No,
Yeah.
was it Strahan? Was it Strahan? No.
Strahan was a giant, wasn't
Yeah, but I don't think it was him. I think it was the other one. Anyways, who cares? Not important. We can do sports on another episode. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for your likes, share, subscribe, do all that stuff, and make sure you like it. Yeah, just start boosting the algorithm. Get us out there. I mean, we got something to say. Get involved. Get on the episode. Get involved. But until then, Godspeed.
And pull the pin.
Thanks for joining us here. Pull the pin already. We hope you had as much fun as we did. If you like what we do, go ahead and hit that like button and share this video with a friend. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button so you don't miss out on any of our future episodes. But most importantly, leave a comment below. Let us know if you agree or disagree with our opinions. Hope to see you here next time on Pull the Pin already.